Welcome to aArambh, the first step to your coding career, which would in turn be a roadmap to the IT world. In Module 1, we have covered all these videos in a sequential manner. You can find that in a playlist. In Module 2, we are covering all these videos. Right now, we have covered till the third video, and we are going to talk about the jagged arrays in this video. Without any further ado, let me open IntelliJ IDEA. So here we are covering jagged arrays. Jagged arrays means these are also 2D arrays, two-dimensional arrays only. Previously, somewhere I told it's 3D. It's a mistake. Okay, it's a 2D array. So in 2D array, only difference is here the number of columns will be different. What do I mean by number of columns are different? Initially, we had an array of numbers. There, what we did was we assigned values like this, right? When we have to assign values, we assigned values like this. Here, if you notice, in the rows, the columns are same. First row, it has two columns. Second row, it has two columns. Third row, it has two columns. That's a normal 2D array. In a jagged array, the column sizes are different. Column sizes are different. For example, here it can be like this. In that case, it is referred to as a jagged array. So if they are different, how do we actually read those values? For int I equal to 0, I less than whatever is the row, right? We need the length of it. I less than row dot length. So before I directly use this statement here, let me show you what does that mean by control slash. So here I come and I'll print the name of the array dot length method. We have a length method. When we print that, what is that we are getting? It will give us the number of rows that are present. The number of rows that are present here are 3. So the name of the array dot length method will give us the number of the rows. Number of rows. I am commenting this part out. Next, I want to try something else. In the first row, how can I access the first row? Array of index 0. This is the first row. If I want to try the length of it, that will give me the number of columns. It will give me the number of columns present in first row. That is index 0th row. So let me run this. The size is 2, right? There are 2 columns in the first row. There are 2 columns in the first row. Same thing now, what I will do is for the second row, it is 3 columns, and for the third row, it is 4 columns. I'll just run. We should get 2, 3, and 4 on the screen. We got 2, 3, and 4 on the screen. So we need to be very conscious about the index. We might be thinking about the row in the mind, like the way I'm talking, but every time you also think about the index. So row and the column. So we will comment out all this code. We are trying to access the values, right, inside this array using a loop. For int I equal to 0, I less than. This is considering with the rows. When we are dealing with the columns, what we have to do is int j equal to 0. Sorry, this is 0. J less than array of I. For see, array of 0 dot length will give the first row. How many columns are there? If I give 1 dot length, it will give how many columns are there in the second row. If I give 2, how many columns are there in the third row. This I value in this loop is iterating from 0, 1, 2. Because I less than, the condition is I less than array dot length. Array dot length is number of rows, 3. I less than 3. So I will traverse values from 0, 1, 2. For 0, 1, 2, if the value has to be there here, 0, 1, 2, we will give I here, J++. Then I do a S out, array of I and J. Let me try to run this. So I got all my elements in a single line. This looks like a pattern problem where we got, at least we are trying to get all the elements, but then I don't want to see these elements like this. So what I will do is instead of giving a print ln, I give a print statement. Then I give a space. I'll try to run this. So now they are all on the same row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I want to see them on different rows. For that, what I will do is after every iteration, I'll give a new line break. This is just like the patterns problem we have worked before. If this logic you are unable to understand, you can refer to the patterns problem coding questions in the module 1 playlist series. So now you got array like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 8, 9. The same fashion that we are seeing here. Same fashion that we are seeing here. Okay, now this we are doing without using a scanner class. Same example or a similar example we will try to do using a scanner class. So I'll comment out this part of the code. When using a scanner class, let me make some room. When using a scanner class, first step what I will do is I'll define the scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. Then I will say enter the number of rows. Then whatever is entered using the next int method, I'll store it in a variable, and the variable name I will call it as rows. Int rows equal to sc dot next int. After that, what I will do is declare I will declare my jagged array, because in a jagged array, what we know is in a jagged array, we only know that row number of rows we will know. Number of columns are not fixed. So if the number of columns are not fixed, the way how we define a jagged array is int array int array. This is a 2D array only, but it is a jagged array. Because it's a jagged array, how we will define it is new int of, we know the rows, but we don't yet know the columns. Columns not known, different, because it's a jagged array. So I will give a semicolon here. Then after that, what I will do is I'll take now I have to read the column values. For that, I'll take a for loop. For int I equal to 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. This code is just like this code that we have used here. And here for printing, we know the value of I, but here we need to read the value of the variable for the columns. For that, now I will do enter number of columns in row with index, whatever index, zeroth index or first index or second index. So here for I, we are getting the values 0, 1, 2, so on, whatever is the value of I. That is so on up to rows minus 1. So on up to rows minus 1, we will get. Rows value is given here, right? I equal to 0. rows value is given here. Instead of taking, we can either take array.length, which is also the rows, or else we can directly take rows here also. Anything would work. Then we store the columns. Int columns is equal to, we are reading from sc dot next int. This would be number of columns in row with index I. After that, what we will do is we have to define this array. Every time we are getting a new array, right? So array of I is equal to new int of columns. Every time, first time the column size may be 2, then zeroth index column will be 2, and first index column will be 3, or second index column might be 4, like in the previous example. That's how we will try to read it. Then we just got the, we just contents are written but never read. Okay, fine. We just got that. Then we need to read the values. In order to read the values, we'll use the logic very similar to this. I'll just copying only these two lines. Okay. For int I equal to 0, I less than array dot length, or I can use I less than rows also. I'm removing this comment here, and I'm uncommenting this line. For j equal to 0, j less than, now we know the columns, right? Columns are stored in the columns variable. Okay, columns are stored in the columns variable, but columns variable doesn't have a scope till here. So what we will do is, we'll say array of I dot length, like we used in the previous example. So then what we will do here, we will give a assault statement like we gave in the enter values for jagged array. Whatever values that we are getting in, that will be scan dot. This is sc dot next int. Whatever values we are getting, we will store here array of I and j equal to sc dot next int. We read the values, then we have to display the values. In order to display the values, we can use same logic, tweak it a little bit. Control V. Okay, okay. Here, this is saying this is defined in the scope. The reason why is from here to here, a loop is there, but we didn't close this loop. So we didn't close this loop. If the moment I close that loop, I value has a scope from here to here only within this block. Because I didn't close, the scope was open for here. Once I close this, the scope is not there. I can use I once again. Here, what I will do is I'll remove this part. I'll say sysout. This program is not very easy to understand, I agree, but what you can do is you try to practice it, play the video again and again a couple of times and try to understand it. You will understand. Even then, if you are not able to understand or if you have any doubts, you can feel free to leave a comment in the comment section so that I can connect live on Zoom calls and I can clarify the doubt. So don't worry that this program is getting a little bit complicated. So in the similar fashion, like in patterns, how we print, we'll print the values. So let me run this program. Enter the number of rows. I want to give 3 rows. Number of columns with index 0. Because there are 3 rows, we should be getting index 0, 1, 2. So first row, that is index 0, I want to have 2 elements. Index 1, I want to have 3 elements. Then I want to have 4 elements. Okay. So 2 plus 3 plus 4, I have totally 9 elements to be entered. So I'll enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After 9, we should get the output. Okay. After 9, we're still getting the output. We have a new line defined here. 1, 2 are coming on the next lines. So why this is coming? You must have, something must have come to your mind. What did we miss here? Here there is a println. From patterns program, if you remember, if it is like this, it will print in the next line. If you give print here and run, number of rows 3, zeroth index 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is what is the desired output. This is how I want to see to how the traversal happens in a jagged array. So this is what I want to cover in this video. As I'm repeating this statement once again, 1D arrays are very important to understand and also for interview perspective. In the next video, we'll cover 3 programs, very important and very frequently asked 3 programs and arrays. We will cover that first, and later on at the end of the module, I will again cover some array programs that are again important. But these next 3 programs are very important, and the other 3 or 4 programs, those will be covered later on, are a little bit less important. But altogether, everything is are important, frequently asked interview questions. 1D array questions are always asked. 1D array concepts are asked. 2D and the 2D jagged arrays are nice to know concepts. So don't sweat a lot on these jagged arrays. Just try to give it a try, understand, practice for a couple of times. That should be enough. So thank you very much for watching the complete video. All the best for your career. And once again, welcome to aArambh coding career journey for your, the roadmap for your IT world. Thank you very much. All the best for your future.